All right, folks, I'm back again. This is part 3. We're going to go over the main tab. So this is the main sheet you'll be working with when you're building your character initially. But as we go forward, we'll be working with each tab individually. Once in a while, we'll have to flip back and forth, but for the most part, we're going to be trying to stay on each tab as we go. So this main tab is the top tab up here. And these are all your ability scores, your ability saves. You have your initiative in the middle, your armor class, your speed. Your passive perception will be recorded in this little cell up here. If you have any special senses, those will be added here. Your background, race, class, and then down below are your death saves. You have your hit die recovery, hit points for wounds, and your maximum hit points and temporary hit points. So these are the different sections. And then in these little magnifying glasses, which are kind of hard to see, but they're there, you have your class and level window. And then you also have your combat calculator. So these are kind of like little hidden windows in here. And you also have this hit dice thing here also for rolls, for calculating your health. So these are just some of the features that come with this first page. Up here on the top right, that's your proficiency bonus. Everyone starts off with +2. As you get more powerful, that changes to +3 around 5th level, I believe, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and go over the actual character creation order that is very important for this rule set as of this beta. The date is April 9th, 2020. We are at the cusp of Unity being released. Right now, this is the beta version. A few things might change, but I'm pretty sure that character creation will stay the same. So I want to show you some of the most important steps of building a character. Now, these are things that I go through in my class. If you want to take a hands-on class, you can schedule one later. But if you need to know now, these videos will help you. So right now, there are different ways to come up with ability scores. I'm going to use a standard array, but you could use a 4d6. And that would be something that is up to you and your game master. I'm not going to go through and do all my stats that way, but if you want to, you can pick up and right click and you'll get 4 dice. And you can do the 4d6, drop the lowest. You can also drop these dice into the hotkeys. And then you would click on that and you get your first roll. And then there's your second roll. So you can do it that way, but for time's sake, I'm going to go ahead and just do the standard array. And this is built off a point buy system. So if you're not sure where those numbers came from, this is from a legal point buy. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. Now I'm going to make a cleric, a war cleric, but this cleric is also going to be a human variant, so it's not going to be as generic. So a war cleric, you probably want your highest skill in wisdom, and then probably your second highest in strength. And from there, probably constitution, so you have a little bit of hit points. And then I'm going to give them, let's see, 15, 14, 13, 12 for dex. Going to have a 10 intelligence and an 8 charisma. So he's not the most pleasant individual to be around, but that's his stats. So once I have those entered, that's the first step. You want to make sure that those are entered first. Now I'm going to go to backgrounds. So I'm going to go to my backgrounds over here on the right-hand side. You have all these banners, so I'm going to go to the backgrounds banner. And I'm just going to bring this up here to make it a little easier to see, stretch it out. And I have a very wide range of different backgrounds. So I think for this case, this is a war cleric. So maybe he is a hero, maybe a mercenary veteran, or you can be an Uthgard tribe member. So they might be more like warlike. So these are barbarian-like peoples, and you get athletics and survival. So I think I'm going to go ahead and use this guy as an example for my war cleric. So I'm going to make a barbarian basically, but he's not going to have the barbarian stats, but he's going to have the war god features, which will help with that. So I'm going to go ahead and drag that up here, and it automatically adds, you get a tool proficiency and a musical instrument, or you get one language of your choice, and then you get those 2 skills. So I'm going to go to the skills tab for a moment and see I have athletics and survival already. So I don't want to pick those again if I can help it. So that's my background. And I advise that when you're building your character, you open this background up, you skim through it or read it, and then when you're done, go ahead and drag it down and bookmark it. That way you're not going to lose it. So if I close this accidentally, I can recall it from the hotkeys below. So that is a good tip to start learning how to use these hotkeys. The next step is race. So I said human variant because I don't know what type of human he is. So I'm going to go to races, and I'm going to look down the list here, and there is a human variant that you can choose, which is here. It's from the player's handbook. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this, drop it on here, and now I get to pick 2 ability scores to increase. Well, I think having a better con would help a lot. So that will bring that up to +2. And then probably a better wisdom, because those are going to be some very needed stats. So 16 on my wisdom, and then I'll have a 14 on my con. So that'll be pretty decent. So I'm going to go ahead and confirm. And now, being a human variant, I get to pick one specific skill to be trained in. So I have athletics and survival. So this would be kind of related to my heritage. So probably, since I have athletics and survival, which is also heritage, maybe I am a lot more perceptive, like more aware of my surroundings. Or maybe I have animal handling or something like that. So it's up to how you want to deal with this. But I think either perception or history would be a good thing. But I think perception would make more sense. And then maybe even stealth. So maybe I'd want to be stealthy instead. So it just depends on how you want to build the character, but I like perception for this one. So that is that. And as you're building these characters, these stars will fill in as you make your choices. So the next step is to drag over the class. So I'm going to open up the magnifying glass that's next to your proficiency bonus near the top, where it says class and level. I open this window up, I open up the classes, and I'm ready to drag over my class. Now, as you can see, I have several sources here, and it really doesn't matter which source I pull this from, but to keep things traditional and to keep them organized, you can actually just pick which book you want to drag from. So I'm going to drag the cleric from the Player's Handbook Deluxe, but it'll work from any other. It's just cleaner doing it this way, and it's less confusing. So I'm just going to drag this over, and you're going to get 2 skills from your class training, your features. So I don't want the 3 I already have. So I'm going to go ahead and do history and medicine. I think those are good things to have for a barbarian healer warrior type, or maybe even religion or persuasion. But being that they're very, kind of stubborn, I think those other ones will work better. And then I have to pick the domain. Well, I already had it made up that I was going to pick the war domain. He is from a clan or a tribe where war is a tradition. I think that makes sense, but you could do nature or forge domain or whatever domain you want. But I think the Tempest, nature, and war domain would fit this build probably the best. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And that gives me my archetype or my specialization. By third level, everybody should have that specialization. So again, I'm going to go back to here, and if you look at your skills, now I have at least 4 or more skills. That's how you can check to make sure that you didn't double up on skills. So you should have at least 4. I have more because of the options I chose. So now what I'm going to do is show you how to level up. So we're going to go to level 3, just so this character is fully developed and they will have most of their class traits. So to level up, all you have to do is this pin or this circle on the right-hand side. That is a shortcut to the actual class. So I'm going to drag this down to my hotkeys, because if I want to look something up later, I can, and that'll make that easier. And then all you have to do is just take this pin and drag it back onto the class and level box, and it automatically levels you up. So it added hit points. It gave me a couple new traits for my class features, and it auto populates back here in this area, so you don't have to manually type it in. So a lot of this stuff is automatically added. Now what you want to do is go ahead and level up one more time, and that is for third level. And this character is fully leveled up to third. They have all their traits for right now, at least most of them, and they have all their skills. And then all their abilities are pretty much set up. So that's basically how this character would go as far as building. Now, every character gets their archetype at different levels. Some get it at first, some get it at third, some get it at second. Depends on the build, but that's why I went with third level, just to kind of show you the process. For experience, by the book, if you use experience points, 900 and 2700 are the standard. Now, some people don't use experience the same way, but this is by the book as the rules is written. If you use milestones or different system, that's up to you. But these really don't do much to the character sheet. It's more bookkeeping. Changing this level, if you type in 4 or try to type 4 in here, that doesn't do anything either. You need to drag in the class again to make it level up. So I'm going to go ahead and close this now that I'm done. And I'm going to bring back up the other hidden spot, which is your combat calculator. Again, this is your initiative. It adds +1 because of your dex. Your base speed comes from your race. This just has to be 30 feet. And your base armor comes from a 10. And then if you wear any armor after that point, you can do so. And it will show here and populate as you build your character. So we can come back here later once we start building more. Your hit points are calculated as such. At first level, you get your hit die plus your constitution bonus. So this character actually has a D8, and you would add the bonus of +2, which gives this character a 10 to start with. Every successive level after that, this character will get half of the hit die rounded up. So half of that rounded up is 5, so that's 10. So they got 5 per level plus 4 from the con bonus. So it's +2, +2. So that's where this 24 comes from. So now what I'm going to do is take a look at some of these other pins. So I already bookmarked the background. If you want to bookmark the race, you can. So that way you don't have to come back here as you advance in your character creation. Double click here for initiative. So that rolls your initiative roll, and it automatically adds in your dex bonus. So now it's initiative 7. To make this simpler for you during gameplay, you can drag this down and drop it down below. So now you can roll from your hotkeys instead of reaching up here or having to come to this page. If you need to make a strength check, just double click there. You need to make a dex save, double click there. That would force that. So that's basically what you can do on this page, is you can have your, character set up the right way by doing this in this order. So for a recap, you want ability scores first. You can reverse or interchange race and background, but I prefer background over race. That way it helps me so I don't double up as much. And then you do your class. And then I showed you how to level by dragging this back in on itself. So that is how you first start creating a character in 5th edition. There will be a new character builder coming out, so this will change a little bit. But until then, this is the best way that we know how to do it. So I'm going to call this almost a tutorial. I have one more thing to cover, and that'll come up in the next area under the abilities. We have to pick a feat, and that is because I'm a human variant. So we'll do that later. So until next time, everyone, hopefully this helps. Take care. Bye-bye.